Yeah. Beautiful.
Well, you know what? It's all I can do to sit here and not question you. And even before the camera started rolling, where are you from? I'm more comfortable sitting where you are than I am where I'm sitting right now.
Well, we've got a great deal straight ahead here on this Christmas edition of SportsCenter. And
Robin Roberts landed her breakthrough job as a broadcast journalist back in 1990 as one of the hosts of ESPN's SportsCenter. And this April, she celebrated a remarkable milestone, 20 years with ABC's Good Morning America, including 16 as co-anchor.
This morning, we are celebrating Robin's platinum anniversary. In her 20 years on GMA, not only has she brought us inspiring stories and groundbreaking interviews, she's also changed lives.
That same month, the Emmy Award-winning broadcaster and best-selling author also published her third book, Brighter by the Day, Waking Up to New Hopes and Dreams.
This book is how I find my hope and my dreams and how I can hopefully help you do the same.
But despite being one of the most recognizable people in the country, Robin is not comfortable being called a celebrity.
I want to be a storyteller. That's the reason why I became a journalist, to be able to help others share their story, not to become the story. And that's how I began my career. I never thought at all about the celebrity aspect of it. And when I became ill, and I did become the story, because I thought this was a way to be able to have a teachable moment, to show people what it's like to have cancer, to live with cancer, to work with cancer. Didn't want you to hear it anywhere else, and it's now been able to say it out loud. I have breast cancer, as my family here knows, my family at home knows. But even as much as we loved Walter Cronkite, I didn't think of him as a celebrity. Though he was huge. I mean, who didn't love Uncle Walter? But it just at some point, it became that way with journalists and how we were being seen. And I think because I have been in people's homes for over 2 decades. How many people can say that? How many actors can say that? So in that regard, it has, you see, just to say the word celebrity status, it does make me uncomfortable because that's not what, I interview celebrities. I want to share the story of celebrities, and not just really, I really love the everyday person. I really love people who have overcome such tremendous odds and who have done the unexpected. But to answer your question, as I'm trying to filibuster, no, I am not comfortable with being considered a celebrity, and nor do I or anybody in my universe considers me a celebrity. Ooh, I can't believe I'm going to share this.
In 2021, Robin hosted a new show for Disney+, Turning the Tables with Robin Roberts.
I don't think I ever could imagine a tea party quite like this, but I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
The 4-episode series featured intimate, roundtable conversations with groundbreaking female celebrities from all walks of life. And on May 5th of this year, both Robin and the show received Daytime Emmy nominations.
I could not believe I received an Emmy nomination as a talk show host. I'm like, but I'm not a talk show host. But I guess that program is considered that. And I'm really excited that the program itself was nominated also for an Emmy for informative talk show. And so this is what I love, because it's a new way of being a talk show host. I love the fact that I sit down with these dynamic women who on the surface look like they probably don't have anything in common, and finding that commonality and just making sure that everybody realizes we all have more in common than not.
it's really powerful.
Yeah.
It's what I do. I bring people together.
Robin and her longtime partner, Amber Lane, began dating in 2005, a relationship Robin didn't feel ready to share publicly until 2013. The previous year, after being diagnosed with a rare blood and bone marrow disease, Robin had received a successful bone marrow transplant, and she decided to mark the 1-year anniversary of her recovery with an emotional December 2019 Facebook post, where she thanked several people who had helped her through the difficult period, including Amber, who, for the first time, Robin revealed as her longtime girlfriend.
I understand now. For the longest time when I said, well, everybody knew I was gay. My family knew I was gay. My colleagues, bosses, all true. If I was walking down the street, I would introduce Amber, but I wasn't ready to say it publicly, even though I felt that I was being public. Boy, what a waste of time. What a waste of time. And why? Because I was afraid? Because I was afraid people couldn't think I could be a Christian and gay? Why? Why wasted time? But I don't look at that. I look at, I did it. I'm so happy that I did it. And I know now the importance of doing it, because I didn't do it necessarily for me. I did it because I love Amber. And I was thanking everybody. It was a simple post. I'm thanking my doctors, I'm thanking my parents, I'm thanking, I'm not thanking this woman who's been by me through this illness and has seen me through it. Yeah. And so Amber and I were just driving up to see our friends. It was the anniversary of my 100 days post-transplant. And I just banged something out. And I sent it, and then I called and let PR know. And they never flinched. They're like, good, hey, thank you for the heads up. It wasn't like, oh, how could you have done that?
Robin's decision to publicly come out was a long time coming, and one that was influenced by a lifetime of events, including the 2012 wedding of her ABC colleague, meteorologist Sam Champion.
Love Sam Champion, dear, dear friend, and knew he was gay, he knew I was gay. Our colleagues, our bosses, they all knew. When Sam got married to Rubem, his husband, and I was there at the wedding, and to see how ABC totally embraced it, they weren't trying to say, hey, should you rethink this? And to see how the public was as well, really opened my eyes. And I remember when I was younger, and I told a mentor of mine, somebody I really looked up to, and shared with her that I thought at the time I was gay. I wasn't, I think I'm gay. And her reaction was so not supportive, hateful. Really, it hurt. It was somebody that I really respected. And then when I was later in my 20s, and I remember my sister, Dorothy, who's 4 years older than I am. And I was like, I want to tell someone in my family. I'm pretty sure at this point, I probably really always was, but again, you don't see it, you don't really know, you're in the South, you're Christian, all these things are, but I was like, I have to share this with my sister Dorothy. And we went out to lunch, and I'll never forget this, we're sitting down, and I'm working up the nerve over, sweet tea to tell Dorothy to spill the tea. And right when I say to her, just like out of the movies, Dorothy, I'm gay, the server put down our lunch and was, fiddling around for a minute. So I just told my sister, I'm gay. And she starts crying. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to wait for the server who's like, do you, and I'm like going, oh, please. And finally, after a couple of minutes, the server walks away. And I look at her, and she goes, I'm not crying because you told me you're gay. I'm crying because you loved me enough to tell me that. And that's when it switched for me. That's when it was like, wow, thank you, Dorothy. And so to see it as it is today, how people ask me about Amber like they would ask about if her name was Andy. It's just, no, I can't express to people what that means. And what I really appreciated from my post is that the public, they picked up on, oh, she's just grateful. It's just the love. It was my industry who was saying, gay, she's gay, oh, fine. And the public was going like, duh, like, really? That's your headline? And there's a great, you should see it. I have it, in fact, we have it framed at home. It was a cartoon based upon that, because I talked about my dog in the post as well. And so this little cartoon is saying about, you know, Robin Roberts as a dog and gay or something, whatever. And this other person in the cartoon looks and goes, I didn't know Robin had a dog. Instead of like the gay. So it just was, again, I was just so appreciative that people were just seeing me for who I am and not making it anything more than I've been living my life. And I'm just so glad that people are accepting of it, and more importantly, that if somebody who looks like me is coming along, will give them a little more courage in knowing that they're not alone. They're not walking alone.
That's great.
It means everything. And I really feel that way. I feel that especially now, more so than ever, since I completely let everybody in on everything that's going on in my life, that I'm seen, and because of, not despite of, but because of all of those things, they still embrace me and they see me. And that's what's so important when I never understood when a parent would come up and say, not until I revealed my sexuality did they accept their child. And I'm like, wow, but but there was some kind of, for whatever reason, my revelation made them actually see their child, because they had such respect for me and love for me, and it didn't change when I said that. And then they were thinking like, why am I now treating my child differently? I'm not looking at Robin differently, but my child being gay, I've been looking at differently. So the fact that I can help others be seen means everything. I like that I'm recognizable. I like that people feel comfortable. They don't just recognize me, they want to hug me. And maybe that's my Southern upbringing or just the intimacy of morning television, because I've seen them in their underwear. And with that comes some responsibility, privilege, and more so influence and power. I don't think I have the power over anyone. I do think that I do have influence by who I am and by my presence. And I think that my presence and the things that I have done, even though I'm not the activist, I think I've spawned that. I've spawned activism in people. Ooh, I like that. I like that. And I feel I've done that. I love when people come up and say, I'm part of your tribe. And you know, I was at the studio this morning, and it was even before I did my morning message. And it was one of our young staffers, and I said something as simple as like, hey, how you doing? And she said, I choose to be happy today. And that's a word she said, I choose. And I looked at her, she goes, because you talk about choice, make good choices. And she said, looking in the mirror or in the restroom, she said, I made a choice today, I'm gonna be happy. And it made me feel so good that this young one, you know, was like, she gets it. And so I think it is accidental, if you will. It's not on purpose. And I mean, that's why we're here. That's why we're all here, right? I mean, you just want to feel that your being is making a difference in some kind of way.